Mirror spirit. My shadows have shadows called whispers, and on a web in a spider's parlour do I lick and love and lively lie. A web of hot tar and to bits broken mirrors on which I ride, wreck, rest and rely, and this web I may not quit, on sore account of the amount of the beast my mirror spirit. For once was I an I, a me, with piss blades and vinegar raving mean and thoughtlessly all along my veins. Fingers teased and grazed, while spiders' legs danced and misbehaved all along my veins. Fireworks fireworked and frightened all drenched red birds away inside and all along my veins. While flies rubbed slimed, aged odd piano keys chimed, and the vagrants of my veins told each other lies, and the time, all of the time, all along my veins. Then what occurred? One bang, one down, my veins absurdly deterred and emptied, would not, could not proceed. Now only a mirror do I remain, a captive of every sight to be seen, a crime time slot in a world that has got no loudly blowing horn or any horn blowing plenty. Where knifeful are the pockets, and where my bones that once bore letters and words bear little that has not been interfered with or blurred. And for those with whom I share this show, it becomes so much more than I'm sure they know. As the you are is the me I am, and the you were is the me I was. Though the you that you will be is arguably not the me you'll see, because it is becoming clearer that people cannot stand for long before a mirror. And so, the laugh you laugh, I laugh. Your laugh through me, I flecked, re-re. And the opinion you opine becomes mine very readily. Your mind through me, I flecked, re-re. And the pant you pant, let me pant. Your lust through me, I flecked, re-re. And the fear you fear, I fear, for your fear frightens me. What scares you do I flecked, re-re. And the decision that you decide is something with which I will always agree. For your choice, right with you I will take and make and use, your choice I choose. Yet I flecked, re-re. And the method you employ, I employ. And so your style becomes ours, you see. All I flecked, re-re. A mirror can't alone say much, can only sound when it breaks and so. Lift me off of the ground with kicks around the town for the sake of kicks, suckling one quick snake to lick down a fake, and to hear that sick sound that licking makes, to slick around all that it takes, and me convinced, contrived, coerced, in a request immersed, to please take away my ego thirst, to make me cursedly careless, and carelessly cursed, on the brink of a fever burst. An untamed feral snapping, slapping, fisting, tearful twisting got me existing, knuckles rapping, crying, cheering, lonely clapping. My bones with greed I intend, for my bones to bleed again. Sweet bones, how you ache to mend. Dear bones, please me befriend. Please my bones cheat again the grim trend. Oh my bones, should you I condemn? A mirror alone reflects nothing. My bones, read them.
It's a little quieter. This first poem is called Death by Misadventure. The train drags on the tracks, stops. We sit and wait as children grow restless and anxious for home. Passengers pace the aisles, speak of time now meaningless. The cry of an infant, gossip of women, phone calls to the other end of the line. The shop panics as people stranded seem to fear starvation. Crisp packet rustle, pungency of ploughman's pickle, coffee and browning fruit. Staff hurry between the carriages, saying only, "Sorry now, folks," as the air grows stale and the windows become mirrors in the late evening. Outside, the bright orange vests of officials move like sad flares in the darkness. Then it comes, the sudden facts of our halt. It takes over half a mile for a train to stop, but still they must wait for a doctor to come, and we, part of the weight that hit him. A lone sunflower sits in a vase on the kitchen table, the last remaining of a bunch of 5. The arc of its neck bends towards the meager light of day. It is the only sun I've seen all summer, but soon it too will fade. I think of Vincent, the fire of his blooms, the wild ochre stroke still living long after he is gone, his lasting breath, the action on the canvas preserved, his marks eternal. another poem by, this is by Megan Barr. She couldn't be with us tonight, so this is her poem. It's called Is This a Poem? I think it is. In the 10th grade writing class, the teacher presents us with 2 poems. Eagle soaring, wingtips on white-edged clouds dip down to catch the unmindful prey. Is this a poem? She asks around the room. Yes, we chorus. This is a poem. She presents us with another one. Eagle, hooked bill, quick and keen, broad wings for easy flight. Is this a poem? She asks again. This answer is replied in jumbles. Discussions of line breaks break out, imagery, punctuation. The second example is a dictionary definition, the teacher says. It's still a poem, one girl calls out before the bell rings and students leave to master the definitions of mitosis and chromosomes, and the teacher returns to the half-bent pages of baby names. Thank you. The next person up is Paul McCarrick.
These memories are grey, much like the church or the castle that lurch over the sky, growing for the top as solid stone chills air down this way. These memories lay out a map to follow, a walk to the school that cowered colour from your cheeks, especially on a Sunday. My map brings me to the Shannon's Edge, a lovely stone where I pledged a kiss teeth-ridden to a girl, which went hit and miss but long forgotten about, at least by her. The paths bring me home, the paths that had better times with cans and laughs that echoed through the night. Stone winds lead me now, look further in the past, and a smile nearly breaks out of my face until we get home and hear you shouting at yourself. At least you've made the neighbours think you've got friends over tonight. I heard people can change themselves if they really want to. Well, you've done it again, Athlone. Okay. These memories are grey, much like the church or the castle that lurch over the sky, growing for the top as solid stone chills air down this way. These memories lay out a map to follow, a walk to the school that cowered colour from your cheeks, especially on a Sunday. My map brings me to the Shannon's Edge, a lovely stone where I pledged a kiss teeth-ridden to a girl, which went hit and miss but long forgotten about, at least by her. The paths bring me home, the paths that had better times with cans and laughs that echoed through the night. Stone winds lead me now, look further in the past, and a smile nearly breaks out of my face until we get home and hear you shouting at yourself. At least you've made the neighbours think you've got friends over tonight. I heard people can change themselves if they really want to. Well, you've done it again, Athlone. Witness. There's nothing in the sky. Dead blue. Cigar smoke streaking stink into the air from the dirty cab of a beat to hell Chevy, where 2 young men are driving home after a long day's work for the cash to buy a new guitar, or drum set, or gun, or tickets to a gig where a blonde girl might give a handjob after the show. I'm riding alone with the ladders and tools in the bed of the work truck, sweat stinging my eyes and slicking my back, rolling a screw between torn to hell fingertips. We are the only truck on this road that leads nowhere but back to town from another job. Staring into the dust and blue of afternoon, munching on a stale burrito and marvelling that not a single cloud is moving above me as far as I can see. I'm thinking this when, for a moment, a single white wisp appears, collects, then recedes back to blue, like a gift that would have never been delivered had someone not been searching for signs of rain. Now I believe we will have the formidable Ruth Quinlan up.
So bear with me. I have two things to read. I'm just going to start with a short extract from my short story Moonkite, and then I'll just do my other short fiction as well. Moonkite. Happy ever afters don't end dramatically after 20 years. They come to a mewling full stop while you're sitting at the kitchen table peeling potatoes for dinner. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I never thought something like this would happen, especially at my age, he said, looking away from me down at the table. He stared at it, as if trying to decipher the patterned oilcloth. I just couldn't live with keeping it secret anymore. I love her. I need to be with her. I never meant to hurt you. I put down the peeler and crossed my arms, hugging myself. Leaving me for another woman is a queer way of not hurting me, Patrick. I didn't plan this. It just happened. Oh, shut up, shut up. I'm sick to my stomach. Who is it? He buried his head in his hands and muttered a name. I noticed that his dark hair was thinning on top. Curiously, it made me think of our nights together. Nights during which I didn't mention that his body had forgotten the shape of itself, and he didn't mention my inability to conceive. What? Not the damn secretary. Christ, did you have to be such a cliché? I'll move out tonight if you want. I'll give you whatever you need. Just go, get out. I can't look at you. I shoved my chair back roughly and went over to the sink, turning my back on him. In the garden, the washing I had hung out that morning whipped and cracked in the wind. One of Patrick's shirts had worked itself free and was bundled against the side of the garden shed. It was covered in mud. Whatever you want, Sarah, I just hope you can find it in yourself to forgive me eventually. Forgive you? You're a fool, Patrick. And God help me, I've only just realised it. For 2 weeks I lay on the couch in my dressing gown. I flicked through the television channels 1 to 5 and then back down again over and over. It wasn't until I suddenly hurled the remote control through the screen that I realised I had to stop. After throwing the plastic remnants into the bin outside, I noticed that my left index finger was bleeding slightly. One of the middle age was crawling its way across me, the soft places of my body becoming slack and folded. What had happened to the girl that married Patrick Shanahan? The girl that had laughed and plucked rice grains and confetti from her hair? Feeling ugly, I pulled my dressing gown back around me and shuffled over to the couch. A pile of newspapers was heaped upon the coffee table. I pulled them over towards me and an article about a new tattoo studio in town caught my eye. I skimmed through it. Patrick hated tattoos, saying that they made women look cheap. I had always been fascinated by the thought of skin as another canvas, the most personal of blank sheets. But, knowing he wouldn't have approved, I had never got one. That night, I returned to the bedroom that my husband and I had shared. I stared at the alarm clock beside me, the minute hand painstakingly marking out the circle of each hour. When we were younger, Patrick would turn on his side to curl himself against me and fit his knees into the angles of mine. His left arm would hook around my belly to draw me close, and I would feel him swell softly against my buttocks. I stretched out my hand, but the other side of the bed was cold and empty. Even the smell of him was gone. Why was I pining for a man who no longer wanted me? I flung the covers back and thumped downstairs to retrieve the article about the tattoo studio. After getting back in bed, I propped myself upright against the pillows. I circled the phone number for the studio and started sketching ideas on the newspaper. Eventually I wore myself out and fell asleep. I dreamt that tendrils of leaves and flowers grew from my belly button to spread across the white emptiness on Patrick's side of the bed. I'll leave that one there. And that is it for the night. So thank you very, very much for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Please feel free to drink all of the mulled wine and all the rest of the wine. Please do. Thank you.
There's just 2 other things that we have to do very quickly. We first of all have a very small token of our gratitude to Ava Burke for all her help during the year and for launching it tonight, and it was a beautiful opening. Thank you very much. I was very touched. Thank you. Another person to thank, the whole class from Ruth Quinlan basically drove this whole project for us, and without her it would never have happened. When our energy and enthusiasm was waning, it was Ruth that kept the whole thing going, and yeah, without her we wouldn't be here tonight. So Ruth Quinlan, thank you very much. Hit the bar, guys, it's all yours.